Thank you for deciding to join me today for practice. Today we're going to do a 1-hour practice. The first half of class will be more Vinyasa style, a little bit more challenging, maybe slightly faster in order to warm up the body and hone the mind. And then we'll transition into some yin style poses and postures in the second half. So go ahead and join me on your mat in a comfortable seated position. We're going to start with some breathing and maybe some light meditation. Close your eyes if that feels right for you. And at first, just notice the breath. No need to control or change the breath. Just notice how it feels. Maybe notice the temperature of the breath. Maybe notice any scent that you can pick up. And then start to bring your focus inward, noticing where the breath is touching your body. Are you breathing more in your chest? More in your diaphragm? Just notice the body parts that naturally expand and contract as you breathe. And now start to manage the breath, intentionally making the inhales and the exhales a little bit longer. Trying to keep the breath balanced so that your inhales are the same length as your exhales. Some of the things that I notice when trying to do this is the inhale is a little bit more challenging because I have to fill up more than I'm used to. And the exhale often, it requires a little bit of push or pressure because if I exhale naturally, my exhale is usually a lot longer than my inhale. So to try to keep them balanced, to try to regulate that balance, I have to put in the slightest bit of effort, the slightest bit of focus. And then gently open your eyes. If your legs are crossed or you have one leg in front of the other, go ahead and switch which leg is in front. And then inhale, hands towards the sky. Exhale, one hand to your side and a gentle side bend. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale, grow a little taller, and then the other side. Exhale, back to center. One more time, either side, but we're going to hold it a little bit longer. If your elbow can touch the ground, that's fine. Just make sure that the shoulder of the floating arm stays rolled open. We don't want to sacrifice by closing the shoulder in order to reach the elbow to the ground. One more breath. And on your exhale, back to center. Inhaling tall and then other side. On your next exhale, back to center. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, this time we'll twist. Right away, come back to center. Inhaling Finding length in the spine and then exhaling, twisting. Very gentle twist at the beginning of class. Back to center. Inhale, grow tall, reach through the crown of your head, and then exhale, twist. And again, we'll hold on this side. Still being aware of your breath. Still using your inhales to lengthen the spine. And then exhales to gently deepen the twist. On your next exhale, back to center. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, twist to the other side and hold. On your next exhale, come back to center. Then exhale, hands to your heart. Go ahead and roll over onto your knees and hands, making sure that the hands are right underneath the shoulders. Something I noticed with my own practice recently is I have a tendency to put the hands about a foot or a hand length too far in front of me. So I'm going to try to shorten the stance and really stack my shoulders on top of the wrists. Let's do a little wrist warm up first. First, slow circles, or if you prefer something like a figure eight, that's fine too. Switching directions. Come back to center and shift your weight back just so there's not as much weight on the hands, but we're not shifting all the way back to child's pose. And I want you to push into the fingers and pick the wrists up off the ground. Release, into the fingers, and pick the wrists off, and then release. Twice more. Just as a little reminder to not dump your weight into the wrists. Instead, to create almost that cupping action and push into the fingertips and the knuckles of the fingers instead. On your next exhale, go ahead and tuck your toes and push back to push back to down dog. If you want to take some cat-cows there instead, you're not quite ready for your first down dog, that's fine. We'll be here for about 5 breaths. I want you to think about lengthening through the tailbone first. So if that means the knees need to stay bent, that's perfectly fine. And if you like a little bit of movement here, maybe walking the heels to the ground. Wherever you are, settle into your first down dog. Again, pushing into the fingers and the knuckles, not the wrists. Trying to keep the shoulders away from the ears and reaching through the tailbone. One more inhale. And this time on your exhale, step forward. Coming to forward fold at the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back, hands come to your shins or even your thighs. Exhale, release, fold forward. Inhale, rise all the way up, growing tall through the fingertips, but not necessarily a back bend. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, extend through the crown of the head. Exhale, release. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release, and gently step to plank. On your next exhale, come all the way down, nice and slow, elbows right by your sides, knees to the ground if you need, and release. Inhale, cobra. Exhale to the ground. And then when you're ready, push back into down dog. If you want to push up to plank first, get a little extra strength, that's fine. Maybe noticing that the legs are starting to work towards straight and the heels sinking a little bit deeper to the ground. On your next exhale, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, picking up the pace a little bit. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. This time, if you'd like to jump back right into chaturanga, that's an option. If you would like to step back and flow through plank, that's perfectly fine too. We will all flow through our vinyasa and make our way to down dog. 3 breaths here. On your next exhale, jump or step back to the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, chaturanga, or stepping through plank. But everyone making their way to down dog. Inhale this time, one foot comes up towards the sky. Reach through the heel, keep the hips square. And on your exhale, you're going to take that leg behind the standing leg and shift forward as though you're coming into table. Tap the knees on the ground and extend back, split down dog. Exhale, step the floating foot through and come into your first warrior one. Now, if this feels really tight in your hips, you can walk your front foot a little bit farther out to the side so that you have more space to square the hips towards the front of the mat. One more breath, and on your exhale, hands float to the ground. Inhale, step to plank, and then exhale, flow through. And if you want to make that a little more fluid, you can. We'll all meet in down dog. Inhale, the opposite foot comes up. Reach through the heel, hips are square, and then bring the knee to the outside of the standing knee and tap. So you're making eagle legs. Back to split down dog. Exhale, step forward, coming into warrior one. One more breath. And on your exhale, release to the ground and flow back to down dog. Three breaths and down dog. On your next exhale, jump, step, back to the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your your heart. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach to the crown of the head. Maybe the fingertips are getting a little closer to the ground. Exhale, fold. And again, vinyasa of your choice, whether that includes a jump back, a step back, whatever works for you. Once in down dog, inhale, one foot comes up. Exhale, behind the standing leg, tap the knees, and then rise back up. Exhale, step the foot all the way through, finding warrior one. On your next breath, sweep the arms so that one arm crosses on top of the other for eagle arms. And start by reaching the fingertips towards the sky. Now you can add a little back bend if that feels good. And then on your exhale, leading with your belly button, roll forward towards the ground, coming into humble warrior with eagle arms. Rise back up, gently unwind the arms, inhaling, warrior one, and then exhaling to the ground and flowing through your vinyasa. Opposite side, lift the heel, keep the hips square, and then bend on the exhale, tapping the knees, back towards the sky. Exhale, step the foot through, warrior one. Take a breath to feel confident in your stance. And then this time, opposite arm is on top for eagle arms on the other side. Inhale, reach the fingertips towards the sky. Maybe sink a little bit deeper into that front leg. And on your next exhale, leading with the belly button, rounding at the last moment so that you get the most length in your spine. Humble warrior. Rise back up when you're ready. Unwind the arms. Reach tall, warrior one. And then flow through your vinyasa, making your way to down dog. And we will stay for 3 breaths. On your next exhale, gently jump, step, float. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, we're going to do a little bit more balance and a little bit more core work with eagle. So go ahead and find your balance on one side. Add a twist first. So opposite hand to the knee, opposite hand behind. Gentle twist, we're not going to be here long. Release your hold on the knee and come back so that the arms are at a T. Inhale, so now we're going to do proper eagle. So if your right leg is lifted right now, then your left arm is going to go on top. And then that right leg will reach over and wrap around. And you can stay here like we did eagle before, or you can contract the abs and try 3 eagle taps. Elbows to the knee, Think about actually trying to squeeze the core, create space, and get the elbows beyond the knee. Good, rise back up, release, and gently release the foot to the ground, hands to your side, mountain, release the shoulders. You can shake them out, you can roll them out, or you can simply reach through the fingertips and feel the stretch across the top of your shoulders. Other side. Inhale, pick up the opposite knee. And let's start with that gentle twist. Again, not really going into the deepest version of this pose, just activating the core a little bit and maybe stretching through the front part of your shoulders since we've done a lot of stretching in the back. Go ahead and bring the hands to a T. So again, if your left foot is lifted, then the right arm goes on top. Inhale and exhale, wrap that floating leg down and around. If you need to brace yourself with a big toe on the ground, that's perfectly fine. Inhale, exhale, squeeze the belly button towards the spine and tap. Twice more. Getting a stronger core and a bigger range of movement each time. Last time. Rise back up, release, find your balance, and release the foot, release the hands. Again, your choice for where to place the hands, but standing up tall, finding length in the shoulders, finding length in the spine. On your next inhale, hands rise up towards the sky. Exhale, fold forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, gently step back to down dog. No vinyasa unless you really, really want one. Pick up one foot, slip down dog. And exhale, we're gonna tap it just like we did in our flow, but this time we're gonna rest both knees on the ground, kick the feet out towards the edges, and sit back. Coming into cow face pose. So from cow face pose, you can choose to not add the arms and simply fold forward. If you would like to add the arms, one arm reaches up and then pats yourself on the back. The other arm reaches behind. And if you can, grab a hold of the fingers or maybe use a strap. You can stay upright or you can choose to fold forward. Gently release the hands and use your hands to push yourself back up to upright. And we're going to roll forward, coming back into our split down dog. And then release your floating leg, find your center again, and we'll go to the other side. Inhale. Exhale, behind the standing leg. Tap the knees and then release the knees all the way to the ground. Feet go wide and gently step back. And then if you need to adjust the feet to bring them a little farther forward, you can. It really just depends what's comfortable in your hips and your knees. If you need to bring the ankles closer to your hips, that's okay too, but do your best to align the knees as much as possible. Opposite hand reaches up and behind. If you're adding the arms, one side is usually much tighter than the other side. This is much tighter for me. So maybe fold forward or maybe stay upright, depending on what works for your body on this side. Gently release the arms, and if you're folded, use the arms to push yourself back up to upright. And roll forward, coming back into that split down dog. Release both feet to the ground, readjust, recenter your down dog. Inhale, and then on your exhale, soften the knees to the ground, and you can either sweep the feet to the side or cross your ankles and roll back. Keeping one leg extended, bring the opposite foot in, allowing the knee to fall out, and we're just going to do a gentle fold forward. Inhale, exhale, lead with the backs of your hands and the backs of your elbows so that you can just relax and release into the stretch, rather than when we put our palms down, we have a tendency to extend and really make this a more active stretch, which there's nothing wrong with that, but we're going to try to start to wind down a little bit. One more breath. And on your exhale, I want you to drag your knuckles and round yourself back up to upright. Maybe take a big shoulder roll and then switch sides. Inhale, grow tall, and then fold, leading with your belly button, and then relaxing over that front leg. On your next exhale, drag the knuckles and roll up one vertebrae at a time. And then we'll do it with both legs. And if you have a strap handy, the strap will help keep your feet flexed, but also allow you to relax the upper body. If you don't have a strap, that's fine. You can do it with me. Inhale. Exhale, belly button, chest, forehead, elbows, and fingertips. One more breath. And exhale, roll up, squeeze with the belly button so your core is strong. Grow tall and maybe add a shoulder roll. And then we are going to roll down onto our mat. Take whatever final poses feel good for you. So maybe that's happy baby. Maybe you like a reclined butterfly. Maybe a typical close of practice for you includes some back bends. So extend the hips into bridge. Whatever your final pose is, let's hold here for 3 more breaths. And then whichever pose you were in, gently release the body to the ground, extending the legs, letting the arms open as wide as you like to either side of your mat. Again, not being restrained to the confines of your mat. Close your eyes. And let's settle into Shavasana. And we'll be in Shavasana for about 10 to 15 breaths. Release your control and management of the breath and let the breath come back to its natural state. Come back to the observation of the breath rather than trying to manipulate or change the breath. Start to reconnect mind and body. Pulling your consciousness back into your body, noticing how the body feels. Maybe noticing where each point of your body is touching the ground. And then become aware of your ability to move. Fingers, toes, ankles, wrists, elbows, knees, and eventually making your way back up to a seated position. Maybe coming to your side first, or rocking back and forth and coming up to that seated position. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I hope you enjoyed that class, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.